Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of Homer's Odyssey, Book 2. And as I may have mentioned before, you should be looking at commentaries as well. This is simply a reading through. And again, I apologise for my poor pronunciation and lack of following the meter properly, neither of which matter I was trained up in. So we're beginning at line 155 here, and in the story, Telemachus has been speaking back and forth with Antinous, and we finished up with Zeus sending a sign, and the sign were these two birds, these two eagles, that came and began tearing at one another in their cheeks and their throats. And we finished off with they darted, the two of them on the right side, through the houses and their city. So this will be neuter plural, of course, from oikion. So they're referring, of course, to the people of Ithaca. So we continue on. Thambesan dornithas epe idon ophthalmoisin homenan danathumon ha per teliestai emelon toisi decai met epe geron heros Halitherses Mastorides hoga oios homelikien ekekasto ornithes gunonai kai en isima muthesastai hosvin eophronion agore sato kai met epe. So this is from Thambio. It's an aorist without augment, and it has that sense of they were amazed at, they wondered at. The ornithas, accusative plural from ornis, at the birds. So they were in wonderment at the birds when idon for adon, you get the unaugmented forms all the time, when they saw it, or saw them, understood ophthalmoisin with their eyes. Hormenon, this is from hormino, it has that sense of to ponder, to think back and forth. So they pondered anathumon in their heart, those very things which emelon were about teliestai. This will be a future infinitive, but the sigma is dropped out and we don't get contraction here. Now it's neuter plural and plural verb. You sometimes get that in Homer. Most of the time you get neuter plural singular verb, but sometimes you will get a plural verb, is what we've got here. Attic Greek is a bit more strict on this, and of course in later Greek it varies constantly as to which you get. So they pondered in their heart the very things which were about teliestai to be fulfilled, to come to pass. And the Geron Heros, the hero, the old man, Halitherses, the son of Mastor, this is a patronymic ending, very common in Homer, Metiepe addressed them. So it's and the old man, the hero, Halitherses, son of Mastor, addressed them, spoke to them, from meta plus ape. Hoga oios, for he alone. Now the main verb here is ekekasto, which is an irregular form. It's a pluperfect from the verb kai numai. It's kappa alpha iota nu, upsilon mu alpha iota, if you're looking it up. Kai numai, which means to excel. The object of that here is homolikian, which is an abstract, probably a collective noun here. Those of the same age is the root of it, and hence contemporaries. So for he alone excelled his contemporaries, those of his same age, even though it's singular, it's collective noun here. Gunonai, infinitive, in knowing, we translate it as, in knowing or understanding ornithas, birds, and muthesastai, from mutheomai, and in speaking en isima. Now, that which is fated. So this is a neuter plural. The things which have been fated. En isimos is the singular. This is neuter plural. So, for he alone excelled his contemporaries in knowing or understanding birds, i.e. the movement of birds and what they do, and in speaking that which is fated. Hot, and then finally he, we often get this hot by itself simply meaning he. Now we get a participle here, euphroneon, thinking well, spin for spiti. We get this very commonly in Homer. This is a third person plural. So he, being well disposed, we might say in English, it's thinking nicely, thinking good things to them. So he, being well disposed to them, he addressed them and said, metiepe. And now we get a speech from him, which is very interesting in terms of the whole story. Keklu te de nun mu ithekasioi hoti ken apo ne sterasin de malista pifauskomenos tardi ero toisinga megapema kulindatai. I'll just pause there. Keklute is a reduplicated aorist imperative from kluo. It's a funny form, but it's one you often see at the beginning of speeches. It's here, now, in fact. So now, in fact, you lot, listen to me. Keklute. You men of Ithaca, Ithacians. Hoti, for hoti, whatsoever thing I might speak. Subjunctive here. So listen to me. So listen now then to me, to what I have to say, O men of Ithaca. Aero is the main verb. I will speak tardi these things, especially, I will speak these things. Piphos skomenos. This is a reduplicated present participle. The root is fausk here, and it's connected with phos, to bring light upon. So piphauskemai is to enlighten, and hence it comes to mean to disclose or to make known, or shed, we'd say to shed light upon in modern English. And you get a reduplication here. You get lots of these in Homer. You get the first letter here, often deaspirated, and then with an iota, not an epsilon. It's a funny reduplication in the present. You'll get quite a few verbs like this in Greek. So it's, I will speak these things, making known or disclosing or perhaps shedding light, most of all for the suitors. For, and this is a lovely line here, for great pain, great misery, great disaster, kulindatai, present, from kulindo, is rolling against them, dative of disadvantage here. This is cognate with our word cylinder, which rolls along. So a great pain is rolling against them. Uga Odysseus Dane, ap arnus there philone hone esatai, alapu di engus ion tois desi phonon kai kera futue, pantesin polesin de kai aloisin kakon estai, hoi nemomest ithacain e de leon, alapolu prin frasdometh hos ken catapausomen, hoi dikai altoi pauesthon, kai gas spin afa todi loion estin. I'll just pause it there. So it was on the previous page, I've forgotten here, it was Uga Odysseus. So for Odysseus has not will not be, so this is esetai, future from Amy, from SMI, with a doubling of sigma to give you a long syllable here. So for Odysseus will not be ap and euther plus the genitive away from his friends. The hone here is a personal adjective in the genitive. You get lots of these in Homer. It really comes from hos, and it's a personal adjective, so it means his, and it takes the same case as the word it's going with. So, and Dane means for a long time. So for Odysseus will not be absent from his friends for a long time. Alla pou eidi engusion. Now this pou is indefinite and it's enclitic, hence the accent here. But perhaps already being near, own for own, being near futue. Well, he plants is literally what the verb means. So he is planting, perhaps almost setting up, scheming, phonon kai kera, murder and death, and we get this lovely tois desi that goes with the pantesi. So these are third declension dative plural endings. So this is really just the same as tois, but we have a double dative ending here. And one of the dative plural endings is the second declension, and this one is the third declension. It's just a clever little trick here, perhaps for the sake of meter, it fits in nicely. So tois desin, it's just the same as tois, and it goes with the pan desin. So for perchance he is already being near, and he is planting murder and death for all of these, i.e. for all of these suitors. Polesin, again, we've got, these are all third declension dative plurals. Polesin is just like polois, sometimes only with a single lambda here. So it's sometimes called metaplasmus, where you take a word like polois, which is second, it uses a second declension dative plural, and then you change it to a third declension one, probably again to fit the meter. So poles in de allosikakon estai, and it will, there will be kakon, a bad thing, for all the others. For all, in fact, it's all the rest of us, we who live. Nemo has the sense of to look after, but just often translate just to live. We who live in Ithaca, which is eu de elon. Again, a word with lots of different possible meanings. And again, you can look at the commentaries on this one. It possibly has the sense of conspicuous or clear, easily seen, and there are other possibilities as well. So I'll just say clear here, clearly visible Ithaca. You can have a look at the other options. Alapoluprin, now this is a hortatory subjunctive here from this phrasdo root, which can have the sense of to speak, but also to consider is probably more to the point here. So much beforehand, poluprin, let us consider hos ken katapausamin. Well, it's something like how, and this is a subjunctive here, despite the short omicron. It's been shortened for the sake of meter. So let us consider how we might put an end to it, how we might, well, cause to cease, understand the suitors. So much beforehand, let us consider how we might put a stop to or cause the suitors to cease. Hoidika kai autoi pauesthon, we get a third person plural imperative here from pao, and let they themselves put an end to it, let they themselves cease. Spin alpha, Now, afa is a fairly strong word. It means quickly or forthwith. And for forthwith, this is loion, better, more advantageous is the really sense of its comparative here. So for this is more advantageous, spin again for spisi, for them. Now he goes on to say, Uga aperitos mantuamai, al u edos kaiga keno, femi telu te thenai hapanta hos hoi emuthiomen, hote ilion, eis anebainon agaioi. Metadesphin ebe polumetus Odysseus. Phen cacapola pathont, olesant apopantas etyrus, agnoston pantesi costo eniauto, oi carieliusestai, ta de nun panta teletai. And that's the end of his speech. And he says let us think about how we can put a stop to this, and let they themselves put a stop to it, for it would be forthwith much better, much more advantageous for them. For now, I am not prophesying as one who is aperatos, inexperienced. It's alpha privative plus that root here. So I'm not prophesying as one who is inexperienced, ala eu eidos, but as one who knows well, one knowing well. This is connected with oida, participle from oida. The oida and the aid root of seeing are connected in the sense that once you've seen something, then you know it. And so these verbs of knowing and seeing are connected etymologically. But here it's just knowing it well. Akaiga, for I say, we would say I said, well, you could say, for I say, for I maintain that all the things, just as I said, I spoke to him, and, well, probably better to do the following. So, keno is for ekeno, and that's referring to Odysseus. Probably fami, perhaps historic present, something like, for I said to that man, to Odysseus, that all things, this is from telu ta'o, and it's an aorist passive infinitive, but after this verb of saying, in oratia obliqua, this may not necessarily have an aorist sense, but possibly a future sense. So for I said to him that all the things will come to pass. Hoi, just also as I was telling him, as I was saying to him, hote, when the Argives, eis anabainon, anabino is to get on board a ship, and so this is something like when the Argives got on board ship bound for Ilium, to get the ace in here, when the Argives got on board ship bound for Ilium, and meta plus the dative here, spin again for spisi, among them, wily polumetos, this is a common epithet of Odysseus. It means, it has the idea of thinking many things, thinking muchly. So wily, it's often translated. Wily Odysseus went with them. So the meta probably goes with the bino as a preverb here. So it's meta bino to go with, and then we get the spin for spisi. So wily Odysseus went with them. Phain cacapola pathont. I said that he, pathont is a aorist participle here, but it's pathonta. It's accusative participle from pasco. We've got fain, I said. So we want an infinitive, and we have to go, I think, all the way down to here to get the infinitive. So I said that he, having suffered kakapola, many evil things. Now the apo, you'll notice the accent here, and that means that it's going with the word before it. And so this again is temesis or preverb, whatever you want to call it. This is from apolumi. Having lost, so he, again another participle, he having lost pantas hetirus, all his comrades, that he would come, oikadi, home. This is from eleusomai, which is the Ionic future from erkomai. It's not the usual Attic future, but you will see it in Ionic dialect. You'll see it again in Herodotus, and it becomes the standard future for erkomai in later biblical Greek. So in the New Testament, that's all you'll find for the future of erkomai. So just to go back over this a bit. So I said that he, having suffered many evil things, many terrible things, and having lost all his comrades, he will come home e costo eniauto in the 20th year, agnoston, unrecognized. It's that alpha privative plus the gno root, unrecognized pantesi by all. So I said that he would come back unrecognized by all. This is oikade, that's that to home, so he will come home. And the e costo, they've repeated the epsilon to get an extra syllable for the meter. This is cognate with our word something like icosahedron in mathematics with 20 sides, ecosi in modern Greek. So just to do that bit quickly again, for I said that he, having suffered many evil things and having lost all his comrades, would come home in the 20th year, unrecognized by all. Tardide nun panta teletai. But now, in fact, all these things, teletai, it's a present passive here, are being fulfilled. And that is the end of his speech.